Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cruise Control. This is your on air automotive magazine. You know that, and you know us. I am Les Jackson. That handsome guy over there is Fred Staab, and, and, he's, and he's got a bunch of stories that we're going to cover today because things are happening.
Yeah, they sure are, Les, and we're starting out with this story. GM says from now on, it's going to build vehicles people actually want to buy, and they are not powered by electricity. So
okay.
a big switch for GM.
It is a big switch.
They were talking they'd be all electric in just a few years, and that's not the case now.
No. And Subaru is pricing out its 2026 Crosstrek lineup, including its brand new hybrid.
Yeah, and the hybrid and another model have one feature that has been missing from the Crosstrek and is pretty common across the automotive industry. So we'll tell you what that feature is. And then also we're going to tell you about Volvo bringing its most popular model, the XC60, bringing the production of that back to the USA. Big news.
Yes. That's good news. And we're going to tell you what's new at Hyundai for next year.
Yeah, they've got a lot going on, and we'll tell you about that and some of the models they have coming up, and why connected service subscriptions, that's things like navigation or maybe remote start. Well, there are no sale for vehicle manufacturers. The sales are terrible, and people just don't want to buy them. We'll tell you a little bit about that. All that and more when we get rolling on this edition of Cruise Control. And we're starting off right away with our first story about GM kind of pulling back from the EV world. As you remember, there was a lot of talk. GM wanted to be the electric vehicle leader. Cadillac is mostly electric now, but they have decided that's not the way to go. They are pulling back plans, slowing it down. Money that was going to electric vehicles is now going to gas and hybrid vehicles.
Well, we were talking about this before they made this decision. We've talked about it quite a while. If you're not selling the cars, sell what people want to buy. And it goes back to Bob Lutz in those days. It's all about product.
Yep.
Somehow, some very influential people in the company kept pushing things that the way it shouldn't have been pushed. But at least we now have General Motors that's being General Motors.
Right.
The name. And I think they'll bring back some of their really popular, very good vehicles and do very well.
Well, let's face it. I mean, people are not looking to spend $85,000, $90,000 on a vehicle unless they're looking for some type of halo vehicle like a Corvette or something like that. And I think it was just climbing. The prices were climbing. You look at Silverado EV and some of the other ones. I mean, $80,000, $90,000. That's not what people want. They go in and they realize, hey, I don't want to have a $2,000 payment each month for a vehicle and that it's going to last many months. They want something that is affordable. And in this case, affordable might be $50,000 or $60,000. But it always sounds better. Now, this interesting article in CarBuzz, it talked that the Bolt would be safe. I've said this. Perhaps electric vehicles will start with, if people want to dip their toe, it would be very affordable vehicles like the Bolt.
The Bolt.
Yeah,
it's simple, but it's good. It's comfortable.
And I have to say, GM, I don't know what happened there with it, and Mary Bauer said, oh, well, we'll have hybrids of our popular models in 2027 or 2028. very, very slow to have them done.
Very slow.
And it was really a misstep. You look at what happened over at Stellantis, and they were like, "Oh, we're going electric," and the Dodge brand was going electric, and I think this time I don't. It's like almost the whole launch of electric vehicles from major manufacturers was kind of bungled because the
Yeah.
technology was not ready to be sold at a price point that the consumers wanted. And eventually it will be, but I think this has probably damaged people's thoughts on electric vehicles.
It's been damaged, but it'll come back someday, and it'll come back phased in, I believe, properly.
Uh,
It was
yeah,
it was
and
just flooded.
cost that I mean, I don't want $100,000 vehicle, and I don't want it to
No,
just be a big SUV that's electric. So I just think that you and I said this a long time ago on Cruise Control that hybrids were the way to go. Make the whole fleet hybrids, or offer a hybrid model across the lineup for virtually every model. And it kind of looks like that's what they're doing now after spending a lot of money on electric vehicles. And once again, you know what you don't hear anything about, or very little about, is self-driving cars. They can't afford to do that right now.
no, they can't afford it. And now in Michigan, I honestly wasn't aware that there was a EV fund for EV development and production, but the Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has come out in support of this swap, going back to good old vehicles.
Yeah.
Um, and I like her quote. She said, "We don't care what you drive, gas, diesel, hybrid, or electric, as long as it's made in Michigan."
That's right. It's
I like that. That's
a gas-powered
pragmatic.
skateboard as long as it's made in
Yeah.
Michigan. Yeah, yeah, exactly. People are still buying big trucks, though. GMC Yukon sales are up 22% in the first half of 2025. They're not cheap either. I mean, people still want big trucks. I had a friend that was buying a vehicle, and he's like, "Oh, I need this, a 3-row." And I said, "Why?" You know,
Yeah.
people
Why?
are afraid to drive something smaller. They're afraid to go down to something smaller.
They
I said, "Do you
truly
need it?
are. They
Yeah.
truly are.
Do you need a 3-row? Really?
No, you don't. Uh, but that's me. That's me. That's my opinion.
Well, I
Um,
often said, if you say, well, every once in a while I need to carry like a big thing, you'd be better off buying a cargo trailer
well,
and a vehicle
yeah.
that could tow it.
Uh, and if you need big stuff occasionally, um, rent it.
Yeah,
You
rent a
can rent a
minivan.
pickup truck at Enterprise or wherever.
I've rented
Uh,
minivans and shoved a lot of stuff in there. And
sure. I mean, you can. Why carry around all this weight and fuel usage
what do you call
when
it?
you
You
don't
call
need it?
it ground hugging weight, don't you call it that?
Road hugging weight back in the Pinto commercials.
Yes, low
Yeah.
horsepower and road hugging weight. It's a great.
You know what I was just remembering today was remember back, gosh, 15, 16 years ago, the Cash for Clunkers program.
Yeah, sure. Hmm.
That was huge. I'm not terribly sure it was such a great idea, but
Oh
it
yeah,
was
it
huge.
was kind of known as a failure, though.
Yeah.
It yeah, it was a failure basically, and I think people turned in a lot of things that were pretty good that could have.
That's right.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll bring that back. I think they want to kind of get out of that type. Right, currently they want to get out of that type of thing going on. What I'm interested in is the bill that just passed. There's a $10,000 tax deduction for buying an American-made car, and you can, and
Yeah.
the interest you can write off. but I don't think there's been a list of what is considered for that purpose an American-made car. And I was
I
just
think they're trying to accumulate that list from the factories.
yeah, I mean,
Uh, and
I was talking to someone that was thinking about buying a Kia Sorento, and he said, would that qualify for that? I said, well, technically, it's made in West Point, Georgia. Um, Only 35% of the parts are Korean, and the engine and transmission is made in the U.S. But
yeah,
there's no official list on that as to what vehicles qualify for it. So I don't know.
I would say that qualifies.
Yeah,
Just from pure logic.
yeah, I agree. I agree. So
Yeah, and the good news here with GM is that they're cutting one shift. This is not the good part. At the Oshawa plant, laying off around 750 workers. Uh, but at the same time, they're not going to have any closures or layoffs at their very large Mexican manufacturing facilities.
they are going to
Uh,
close them down for a bit, though. They're
yeah,
pausing. We don't know why that is, whether it's related to something at the plant or a labor issue or parts that are waiting. According to GM Authority, as you mentioned, they said that GM has no plans of closures or layoffs, but um, they're shutting down the plant. So I don't know why. And they
yeah.
build
Well,
Chevy
we're
Silverados there. But once again, there's the point. A Chevy Silverado may not qualify for that discount because it's built in
and this,
Mexico.
yeah, and this has happened over the years, where the most American vehicle you think that you can even name is not really made in America.
That's right.
Uh,
Yeah. It goes on the American Made Index that I believe is cars.com that does
yeah,
that. Where the engine's made, where the transmission's made, where the workforce is, and where most of the parts are. So
right.
Toyota and Kia could be more American than Ford and Chevy.
And
Yeah.
And these,
Honda very always building a lot in there. So
yeah,
interesting. Something we'll stay up to date, keep you up to date on when we get that list on cruise control. So stay tuned to that. In the meantime, Subaru has priced out its Crosstrek, one of its most popular models, for 2026 less. And it has an option. Well, it's actually standard on certain models that people have been asking for a long time. I'll just tease that, but we should mention that we have pricing information on their new hybrid, their hybrid Crosstrek. And that I think is going to be a very popular model. It has almost 200 horsepower. I think that might be a little underrated, the horsepower, because in the case of
yeah.
Subaru, they're sometimes embarrassed by horsepower. They're not a big horsepower brand. But just to give you the range of pricing on the Crosstrek, basic Crosstrek starts at $26,995, goes up to $28,415 with $1,420 destination. The rest of the prices I'll read now will have the destination included. Crosstrek Premium goes up to it costs about $29,415. Crosstrek Sport, which is a very popular model that has a lot of
That's
features,
very common. Yeah,
$32,045. Crosstrek Sport Hybrid, $35,415. The Limited, which is the one with leather seats, $34,415. Crosstrek Limited Hybrid, $36,415. And Crosstrek Wilderness, $35,215. So you may ask, Les Jackson, what was the item that was always missing from the Crosstrek that is common in many, many, many vehicles now and
and
very popular
let me
option?
guess. Let me guess. Are you going to steer us in the right direction?
That's right. We might have a heated conversation about it.
Absolutely.
Well, it is the heated steering wheel. It was common in Canada, and even they
Yeah.
would build the vehicles in Indiana, and it would they would put that heated steering wheel in the vehicles headed for Canada, but the ones that headed to the U.S. didn't
We
get it.
and
Now they've got it.
we've never understood this. We've
No,
never understood it.
no.
It's probably is a heated steering wheel, but they don't have the circuitry to turn it on.
Yes.
I don't get it.
Now they do, though. Now it does come in the limited standard in the Crosstrek Limited and the Crosstrek Wilderness. So you get the heated steering wheel there. The hybrid model, I think, will do well. It
I think so.
also, all of these vehicles now get the 2.5 liter Subaru Boxer engine. It is all, they all get the larger engine. They did away with the smaller 2 liter engine
The
because
big block?
that is the big block. Yes. I believe it
Okay.
has 181 horsepower and the 180 horsepower, 178 pound-feet of torque. That is the standard engine. They used to have, I believe, a 2 liter that was the base engine, and that only had 150 horsepower. It just wasn't competitive anymore in
Well,
today's market.
their vehicles got heavier, so
Yeah, then the vehicles got heavier as well. So, very popular model. Fairly affordable these
mhm.
days. And if you don't want that heated steering wheel, you could get into both a Crosstrek or a Crosstrek Premium for under $30,000.
Under 30, which is, I believe that's the goal that the average consumer would like. I want a new vehicle and I want it to be under 30,000.
Right, exactly. Hybrid, I'm interested to drive that and see how they do with that. It is an Atkinson Miller 2.5 liter boxer engine and electric motors, front and back, high capacity lithium ion battery. If you remember, they had a plug-in hybrid that didn't sell all that well previously because it really didn't give you much more than the regular gas model, and cost more. I believe the old plug-in hybrid only went 17 miles of range on all
Yeah,
electric.
it was one of those why bother?
Why bother type of things. Yeah. I don't know. Do we have mileage rating on the hybrid? I think
I
it's
was looking.
36. I
I don't
believe it
think
is
yeah.
36. So, and I believe the non-hybrid is 31. So once again, not a big split, but
Not
hey, that's
huge.
okay. I will say I drove the Wilderness Hybrid, and I was pretty impressed with it. One of the neat things about that probably people would miss out on is it has a 3,500-pound towing capacity compared to, I think, under 2,000 for the standard non-wilderness models. And it has to do with them adding additional cooling to the engine and transmission in the wilderness model, and it picks up the towing capability. So 3,500 for a small vehicle is pretty good. You could tow a small
That's
trailer.
pretty good.
Yeah,
That's a lot of load.
yeah. So there you have it, new from Subaru. But let's jump over to Volvo and talk about what's going on there. Their most popular model is the XC60, and production has come back to the U.S., right, Les?
That's right. It's back to the car plant in Ridgeville, South Carolina, right near Charleston. Um, that's got to be pretty good for the workers. You can, you know, go out in Charleston on the weekends. Um, so this is Volvo is really coming on strong. They used to kind of be this great safe car, but not terribly exciting and so on. But man, uh, they're a force to be contended with.
Yeah, and I don't know whether this was already in the plans before a U.S. factory was already in the plans before tariffs, but if it was, it's perfect timing. It's
It
in
is.
Ridgeville, as you said, outside Charleston, South Carolina, state-of-the-art facility. It also assembles the fully electric flagship EX90. If you recall, that was a big deal to bring the EX90 here because I don't think that was planned originally. And XC60 production will begin in late 2026. Huge facility. I mean, these facilities are huge.
Yep.
They're
The,
some of them. It takes you 20 minutes to walk across the plant.
yes, they are huge. They are very expensive to build. You know, between $2 and $4 billion.
Yep.
Half of, not half, but almost half of which is the painting portion of the facility. That's high tech like you'll never see.
And just to your point, they invested $1.3 billion in the plant. And, you know, the plant has been around for quite some time. I just don't think they had a plan to build the EX90 here until tariffs hit or, you know, I think some of the additional capacity XC60 and that's being moved here because of tariffs. But the plant has been around for quite some time, but huge, huge. Just say it will be hot down there. So I hope they have good air conditioning for the plant.
Oh, I'm quite sure they do, and a good pay, a really good pay scale and benefits, and you know, it's in a great area to work in and live in.
Yes.
And then you have all of the support companies that
Yes.
have to make those parts with just-in-time inventory. You can't put that support company in Denver.
No, they have to
Uh,
be, I think, 20 minutes away or something like that.
20
Maybe
minutes
close.
away.
Maybe something like that. They have to be very close. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I.
your entire plant is dependent upon making whatever that product is, a dashboard assembly, seats, whatever. You'd better make them, and you better make the right quantity at all times, and have them grabbable in, as Fred said, minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they'll
Exactly.
find another company that'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Hey, let's move over to Hyundai. Hyundai has a lot going on in 2026, and Ionic 9 is a big deal. I actually are going to have an at the wheel review of that coming up very soon. And futuristic looking vehicle, all electric, 3-row.
Hmm.
They do an incredible job with electrics, Hyundai and Kia. And that is all new. That is an all new model for this year. And that is big news. But also big news, if you don't want to go electric, is the Palisade. That is also an all new model. Gets that Range Rover styling that you always talk about, doesn't it?
Absolutely. But talk about a popular model.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Uh,
outgoing one was popular. I think this will be just as popular as well.
oh, yeah.
Futuristic
Yeah.
styles, you know, Range Rover esque. When you look at the trim on the Palisade with that B pillar, it's you know it's pretty interesting. All new interior, so there's a lot going on here, and it's big news, and I think it will be a big seller for the folks at Hyundai. They just do a great job, and some of the other vehicles we're going to be looking out for: the Ioniq 6N, which was
Right.
just revealed recently at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. And then there's a lot of carryover models as well. Once again, you know, Hyundai, as you know, just like Kia, is a full line manufacturer. They have
Yep.
Sonata, Elantra, Kona, Santa Fe, Tucson, Santa Cruz, Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6. They have the Nexto hydrogen fuel cell vehicle. That is all new also. Details to come.
That's all new. And of all things, this week I was at a restaurant with a neighbor of mine, and what pulled in right after we did was a Honda Clarity.
Wow.
That's been around a long time, and looked great. I asked the fellow, where'd you get that? Do you work for Honda? He said, no, I bought it in California.
Where
And
does he fuel it would be even the bigger question.
he goes to Potomac Gases, which is which is an industrial park down along Route 1. Just it's in Arlington County, so it's close to the city. But
It's
he buys his hydrogen there.
wow. Although I'm a big fan of that. It just seems like it would be too hard to. If you recall,
Yes.
James May had one of those.
Yes.
He loved it,
Yes.
and he said he had to get rid of it because there was no place to fuel it up.
I had one as a loan way back. Gosh, it had to be 15, 16 years ago. And the only place to gas up, literally hydrogen gas, was over in Northeast Washington, which is diametrically across the city from me.
Wow.
Not convenient.
No, not convenient, and hey, it's that's the only problem with them, really. But let's talk about a vehicle that might be coming up from Ram. We have a little more information on their midsize vehicle, as they call it, the Dakota replacement, but we don't know if that
That's right.
is actually the name. But there was a lot of talk. Will they bring it here? Will they have a midsize Ram pickup? And they're shooting for something in the $35,000 to $50,000 range, which is a lot less than a full size Ram.
Whole lot less.
Yeah. So some information emerging this week on Mopar Insiders. They say the new pickup will be built in the Belvidere Assembly Plant in Illinois starting in 2027. And it looks like it's going to be body on frame. It is not going to be a unibody. So it's not going to be something like a Santa Cruz or a
Honda
Ridgeline
Insight,
or something
not
like that.
Insight, but yeah, Ridgeline.
Yeah.
I don't. My feeling is a truck should have a frame.
Yeah.
To me, you have a truck because you need to make it do work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm good with that. I don't know how much cheaper it is to build a unibody. Probably is.
I don't know.
But I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that. Maybe
I
it
think
is.
the bigger issue is if you have a unibody, it's lighter, and so gets better fuel economy, maybe. But a frame,
Well, it probably does. Yeah.
But this is going to compete with Ranger. It's going to compete with Frontier, Tacoma. Tacoma, yeah, isn't Tacoma the smaller of the two Toyotas? And
Yep.
Colorado and Canyon, although I always say those are the invisible GM vehicles. And
Well, yeah.
but Ranger does well, so I think you'll also see some kind of very off-roaded, whatever they call the small Ram. They'll have a very off-road capable version of it. So it's great, and it's going to be built in the U.S. So that's got to be good points for the folks over at Stellantis, right?
Yeah, that's good for them. They're so impressive that so quickly they've just picked up all the pieces and they're running fast.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we haven't done a little update on what's going on tariff-wise, and it's kind of hard to follow along with it. But some news this week: one of the vehicles that's struggling in the Dodge lineup is the Hornet. If you know anything about that is also shared, is a close relative of the Alpha Tonale. And the thing about the Hornet was it was supposed to be sort of like a little hot rod, high horsepower crossover hybrid, right? And they have 200 plus horsepower. But there's talk that they might drop it. The sales are way down. And now it's going to get hit with tariffs because it is made in Italy. So will the Dodge Hornet go away if they're not selling them? And if they're not selling them, and now tariffs come in, it's not gonna be a good thing.
No, that's the combination you can't get over.
Yeah.
If you were selling a lot, that's great, but I haven't seen one on the road.
No, and it is. They had Alfa Romeo has 903 copies of the 2025 Tonale on dealers' lots. And 3 from 2024. The Tonale starts around 36,000, but the Hornet is less. I just think certain vehicles get lost in the shuffle, and it's a pretty good vehicle. It's it's got some of that Dodge styling in it that people like, kind of in-your-face styling. It's got good horsepower, but these are built in Naples, Italy, and it's just not resonating with people. And when it doesn't resonate, it disappears. And I think it might disappear. We even talked about will the new Jeep Cherokee come to the U.S.? I think it will, but that is also built in Italy, so it is a little bit of a problem tariff-wise.
Well, again, my long-term prediction is the tariffs will go away when it's finally proven to everyone that they don't work. But for now, we're stuck with them.
Yeah. There's also thousands of cars piling up at European ports. The port of Antwerp typically ships more than 3 million vehicles each year.
It's a lot.
So when the August 1st 30% tariff on European imports hits, what will happen? I guess if they're all shipped before that date, then they won't be. If they're in transit, I guess they don't get charged the tariff. I'm not sure about that, but
maybe not. It depends on when they left.
I think they have to reach the U.S. by August 1st.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
And maybe they're going to be really pushing those ships to. I don't think they go very fast.
I don't think they do. I mean, probably 10 or 15 knots is about as fast as they go.
That's a slow trip across the ocean.
They could load them onto aircraft carriers. They do like 35 or 40 knots.
Hey, there's a way for the Navy to they do that when they move the crew. They like crane all the crew's vehicles onto the deck. It's kind of funny. It looks they're all out on the deck and lined up bumper to bumper. So
they used to, when I was flying there, but they used to test the catapults with wrecked cars.
Oh, wow.
Take the engines and all the fluids out, and then they'd shoot them off a long way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about a interesting story here about how Chinese manufacturers are cutting down on the time it takes to develop a vehicle. In the past, it's taken 5 years to develop a vehicle?
5 years, and then it came down to 3. With a lot of computer work, or you don't have to build prototypes as early.
Right.
And I think the record is still the Viper, which was 18 months.
Okay. Well,
but that was a fluke.
Interesting article this week about China and companies like BYD and others They're developing these things so quickly, like 6 weeks.
That's
And
pretty quick.
as the article says, it's just good enough design. That's what
Oh,
I want
wonderful.
is anything,
Yeah.
just good enough.
Well, as you know, I am a firm devotee of adequate.
Thank you. That was adequate. That was
Yeah.
the Model 5 SUV from Chery.
Yeah.
And they wanted to repurpose it for the European market, so they did that in 6 weeks. They changed turn signals and headlights and whatever.
Just good enough. That's wonderful.
They use digital tools, artificial intelligence. They don't bother with physical prototypes and extensive road testing. They lean into simulations and virtual reality. And they use high-speed digital simulations like hardware and loop systems to test things like brakes and turn signals. No need to test brakes; it will stop.
Swell.
I know it will.
It'll as long as the brakes are helpful. Who cares?
That's right. Do the taillights go on? Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay.
So they also make 75% of their parts in-house. Which helps because they don't have to go out.
That's the old Henry Ford method.
Yeah, to bid out and say, okay, we want seats, so we're going to want them in these colors and this to be power. And they're like, okay, we'll get back to you, and we can start building them in a year.
I have a question about that.
Okay.
How long are these parts going to last?
I think these are basically disposable cars.
Yeah.
It's cheap. And what do you get when you buy something that's really cheap? And literally, BYD and Chery say they often adopt a good enough approach as they move from one stage.
I don't know why anyone would buy such a thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's very cheap.
Well, they are. They're sub $10,000 cars in some cases.
Yeah, but it probably only lasts 10,000 miles.
You always get what you pay for. You always get what you pay for.
Yes.
But we talked earlier on the show about building vehicles people want. Do you think there'll come a time in the auto industry where people say, I just want it to last a couple of years and then I'll get rid of it. If it's cheap, I'd rather have it cheap, and I can buy 3 cars. If I can buy a car for $10,000, I can buy 3 of them, or I can buy one for $30,000.
I believe that sort of thing will happen because it's already happened in the appliance world.
Yeah.
Low-end appliances they're cheap. They work for
a while,
5 to 10 years, maybe.
Right.
And they're throwaway.
Yeah. So you can fill up that landfill with all kinds of crap. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'd like to hear from our audience, though. What do you think? Will very cheap and somewhat not cheerful cars that are basically throwaways become the norm? Yeah. Where, hey, it's $10,000, but you know what? When it breaks, you throw it away. Headlight goes out, get rid of it. I don't know. I really don't know if that's something that will become the norm. But we want to hear from you. Shoot us a note in the comments and on all our social media platforms, because it would be a sea change in the U.S. industry, and it seems like that's what China is basing their future.
Yeah. Well, I hope this is for the domestic market.
Yeah. Yes. Well, they're not allowed. I don't know. There's another question. Will Chinese manufactured cars ever be allowed in the U.S.? I'm not talking about things like the Nautilus that's built in China or some of the Buicks.
If they can pass all the regulations,
I don't
think regulations.
I don't think anyone wants them here. It's a bipartisan.
I kind of hope not. I mean, there's really nothing they've ever made there that I think is to the level of what the American consumers want.
But when you go to Europe, I was in the UK not all that long ago. They're everywhere. MG is a brand that was bought by Geely, I believe, and it's everywhere. I mean, I
Hmm.
think the gates were open there, and they didn't ban them.
Did
And
you did you test any of them?
no, no, didn't drive any of them.
Would you test any of
You know what would concern me on a hot day, everything's outgassing, and you open that door. What the
them?
heck
Yeah,
are you breathing?
exactly.
Like, yeah, oh, we filled the seats with toxic waste. you know,
No, you have a legitimate concern there. These uh, micro
Plastics.
particles are quite dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's talk about a vehicle that's not a throwaway, and is probably one that would last you a while. GMC Acadia, becoming a big seller for this. And they just introduced the first Acadia Denali Ultimate for 2026. Good looking vehicle. I like the quad tips in the back, quad
Hmm.
square tips. And it is the latest vehicle in the GMC lineup of trucks and SUVs to receive the ultra premium Denali trim. Good looking vehicle on the inside, high end. I like the seats are kind of embossed with almost like a topographical map, which is interesting.
Yeah, a lot of details. Well, that's one thing about high end interiors where you get shadow lines and just little details that enhance your viewing and your feeling.
Yes, absolutely.
You pay
Stitching.
for that. You pay for that.
Yeah, different colors on the interior.
Hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about that. The signature Vader chrome grille out front. GMC, of course, has always been a big grill brand. LED daytime running lights with animated lighting sequence. Exclusive badging, 22-inch machined aluminum wheels. It's huge.
Uh-huh.
With after midnight metallic finish. Exclusive interior appointments set the vehicle apart, including heated and ventilated woodland mahogany leather massaging seats with pleated contrast stitching.
Okay.
Palato wood with laser etched accents and embossed topographical maps on the seat backs and rear seat trim. And of course, Denali Ultimate badging. It gets a lot of standard features, including Bose 16 speaker performance series sound system, Super Cruise, hands free driving assistance with a 3-year OnStar 1 Super Cruise Plan 3. It's got those 22-inch machined aluminum wheels, panoramic sunroof, 9 camera views, including smart technologies like HD surround vision and rear camera mirror, which I'm not a complete fan of those rear camera mirrors. It's weird that you can't
Oh,
see your face
absolutely.
in. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And a configurable 8-inch diagonal head-up display, auto sense power liftgate, performance suspension, etc. We don't have pricing on this. It can tow. It can tow 5,000 pounds, and it's got a 2.5 liter turbocharged engine, putting out 328 horsepower, 326 pound-feet of torque. Not a bad-looking vehicle. We don't have pricing. That's the problem. I think it will be fairly
Well,
expensive.
we know it's not inexpensive.
No, it's not inexpensive. Someone brought up a good point. I was reading something the other day that they say when you go up to bigger tires, bigger wheels, the price goes up exponentially when it's time to buy tires.
Hmm.
And a
Hmm.
lot of people don't realize it until they have to buy their first set of tires for the vehicle. It's like, oh, if you got the 18-inch wheels, it would have been a lot less expensive than 19 or 20.
Um, the tire manufacturing and technology is quite sophisticated, and the bigger the tire, the more has to go into its design and testing because it's a larger mass to spin.
Okay.
So there's there's an awful lot that and and it's got to work right, and it's got to work right for 50,000 miles, and this is not a trivial thing. We don't People don't even think of tires, but in fact, that's the one thing on your car that's keeping you alive.
The
So
contact patch, as they
yeah,
say. Yeah.
and they do cost a lot more. Probably if tires, Pirelli tires for my car, if they cost $160 a piece, if it had 22-inch wheels, it would probably be 450, 500.
Wow. A piece, a tire, or
Yeah,
you?
a tire. Yeah,
Wow. Wow. So something to think about when you're buying a vehicle. What would tires cost? I don't. I bet a lot of people just don't think about that. They
no, they
don't.
don't think about brakes, rotors,
Yeah. Also more
pads.
expensive. Bigger wheels. You need bigger. You have more unsprung mass. You need bigger stopping
That's right.
capability. Yeah.
Takes a lot of energy to slow those things down and stop them, and all of those parts uh, need a lot of frequent service.
Yeah. Well, let's move over to our next story. And this is something you and I have been talking about. This comes to us from the 2025 S&P Connected Car Consumer Survey. They asked about 9,000 participants around the world a series of questions about new connected vehicle services. And that's where you have navigation that you pay
Mhm.
a monthly fee for, and it's updated. The maps are constantly updated. That's one example. Remote start is an example. Sometimes, like with Mercedes, they have a more exotic feature like rear steering is a subscription type of thing. Connected services. If you drive a Toyota, you'll be constantly pitched on buying the connected services for
Yep.
navigation. Now, something that's going to become big in this article is, do you need that connected service when you can just hook your phone up and get Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, which is also updated all the time, and it is connected. It's not just coming out of your phone. It's constantly updated by Google. So this study says people are just not paying for these things. And there's a couple of reasons. One of the first reason is, once again, the dealers are not explaining what it is because they probably don't know themselves. And so people don't even know about it. And then secondly, people don't want to keep paying for their car. They're already paying big money for a new vehicle, and big money, 1,500, 2,000 a month. They don't want to say, I
Yeah.
don't want to pay another 120 to get something that I can use my phone for. They said the big overlap
Exactly.
is, well, I can do most of these things on my phone, and I already pay for my phone, and I can use my phone outside of the vehicle. So why would I do this? So it just doesn't seem like there's a value proposition here for this stuff, does it?
Well, it's not. I mean, we have talked about this for years, and people, Americans anyway, in China, for instance, most people get those services, but we're not a culture that likes to spend a lot of money for a vehicle and then get hit for another 40, 50, 60, $100 a month for services
Right.
that may or may not be used to equal that value. So, yeah, I completely have rejected this idea. Uh, I don't find these services appeal to me. Certainly not to have to pay for them.
Yeah. And
And obviously, I'm like most people here. They just don't want to pay for these things.
well, look at your K5. Your K5 not only includes a nice built-in navigation system that
That's
is
right.
there's no additional charge
And
for,
and
and it
remote start,
all included, no monthly
all
fees.
included.
Yeah,
Uh, uh,
and plus Android Auto and Apple CarPlay.
right. And there's a free version of Kia Connect, which um, which I have because it's free. I'm not going to pay for it. And it but now don't you get with that? You don't get voice command on the nav system.
Okay. But you
Well,
have that
okay,
on Android Auto
you
or
have
Apple
that on
CarPlay.
Android Auto, and
Yeah.
you also on their system can talk to your nav system while you're moving. You know, a screen will come up and say you have to agree that the vehicle is moving and you still want to use the navigation. So
No,
you
I
say,
don't.
okay,
I'm not going
yes.
to agree that the vehicle is moving.
But they're minor things.
Right.
And it's not an expensive system. I just am not going to pay it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting that manufacturers, I guess, see this as such a income stream that they don't want to give up on it, even
That's
after
right.
things like this connected car consumer survey and BMW trying to charge,
Right.
for heated seats on a
BMW has really gotten their face slapped with these
yeah, but they keep
services.
doing it, and I don't think they're going to try. And other manufacturers keep doing it. I think the idea that they could have a continuous stream of money uh, after the
Just
sale is just too appealing, and they can't help themselves. They can't say, "Hey, well, no one wants this." Now, once again, we started this episode with the idea of people didn't want $85,000 expensive electric cars, but it seems like the manufacturers don't want to give up on the
no.
idea of, hey, they don't want subscriptions either for features in their car that they feel should be included. So,
Well, yeah, the marketers are, they've come out of Harvard Business School and other places, and they believe that if something is properly marketed, you'll make a lot of money. And I don't think that's true. I think there are some things that just people don't want.
yeah. And also, how are they marketing it? Nag screens in vehicles, which are sign up for this, sign up. That's annoying. I don't think the dealers care or maybe even know about it.
No,
I don't think they even know about it. But why would they care? They probably don't get any money out of it.
no, I'm
So
sure they don't.
why would they even try to do it? Um, they'd rather sell you some other silly accessory that's crap. Um, and I still think most of the things they try to sell you are crap. They're cheap, but they're highly priced. Um,
Yeah.
so they're not more interested in selling that stuff than hey, let me help the company out and get this guy to take navigation for the next 10 years. So I don't know.
I think I don't know what the take rate is anymore on OnStar, for
well,
instance.
you were reading my mind because many cell phones can sense that the vehicle was in an accident due to
Yeah.
its accelerometer, and some will just call 911, or they'll say, "Do you want to call 911?" So it's kind of been made moot, not mute. Maybe it is
Moot.
mute, but it's moot by
Yes.
your cell phone. That's what I think. I don't know. That's what it seems to be. So
Yep. And look what's happened to Sirius XM and these other music subscription things. People have their own playlists on their phones, thousands of songs.
Yeah, or they have Spotify or whatever, and
Right.
it's just it's just, why do you have to duplicate that stuff when you have it already? So, hey, Les, here are some things coming up next on Cruise Control. Ford says it wants to get back into making cars. This is good news. Once again, people are maybe looking for some smaller vehicles, and Ford wants to build cars. I think people miss their cars. They built some great cars, and they're missing them. So
People
that's
do.
good news. Yeah. And then you have something from Hyundai, right?
Yes, they seed the forest with the Ionic 9,
Yes,
which is
it's interesting
that's
stuff. It's
it's
actually
cool.
it's actually they're seeding it with drones that come out of the Ionic 9. Uh,
Yes,
and it's kind of cool. They have this little hopper on the drone that throws these clay pellets that contain seeds and nutrients, which I think is cool. It's a cool idea. It's reseeding forests after fire or something like that. So we'll talk about that. And then Jeep reveals two new versions of its Wagoneer. As you know, they are on damage control after their terrible CEO
they sure
left.
are.
And so special editions sell well. And they're bringing out a couple of different special editions from the Jeep lineup for their Wagoneer. So we'll kick that around.
That's it's overdue. It's it's smart move. It's not cheap, but
No.
it's a smart move. And speaking of not cheap, Mercedes shows off its all new CLA, very sleek, swoopy,
Yes.
it's almost sinister looking.
Yes, and it's available as an all-electric or a hybrid with a new engine. We'll tell you a little bit about that and kind of look at some of the features and go through that. And then we're going to talk tech. Is AI the better way for quality control of new cars and trucks? And one company is looking into this, and it's interesting technique that they're using for um, kind of determining, whether a vehicle has been put together correctly or not. So we'll talk about
That's
that.
kind of important.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
yeah,
what would it take for GM to bring back the Camaro? Well, we'll talk about that too. There was an interesting interview. Apparently, they talked about doing it, and they were blown out of the water. The people presenting it, because they were told there's no business case for this. So, well,
I well, if they didn't ask me, but had they, and I'm sure you would have said the same thing, it would take a taller greenhouse
yes,
so I could
lower
see
belt line.
out,
Yeah,
um, and basically a nicer interior.
yeah, nicer interior, lower belt line,
Yeah,
higher
yeah.
greenhouse, thinner A pillars, so you could see out, and something other than a $10.95 interior would
That's right.
would
Yeah,
would
it really. I mean, we've tested these now since the new Camaro came out. 12, 13 years. Yeah, actually, 2003.
wow.
Um, and the interiors just look like somebody went to Pep Boys or one of these old car parts places and bought a cheap set of seat covers.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Uh,
not the
just
highest quality.
no,
No.
no.
Well, let's
Anyway,
jump in. Let's jump into the idea of Ford making cars again. What were some of your favorite Ford cars of recent vintage?
well, the Focus,
Yeah,
uh, the Escort,
yeah,
and these are the Fiesta. These are were very popular cars all around the world. Um, cheap, fun to drive.
Yeah.
Of course, I love the old Galaxies.
Yeah.
That's way back.
Yeah.
Uh, the uh, the Edge,
Yeah. Yeah.
very
Well,
practical.
yeah. The even the Flex was interesting, if you could call
Yep.
that a car. But I like some of the ST models, like the Fiesta ST or
Yeah.
Focus
Yeah.
ST. They were just fun, performance, sporty models. They had a very European feel to them, and I thought they were pretty high quality for their size and price. But they've all been eliminated. But there seems to be some hope now that
Hmm.
new cars will come out. There's a lot of talk in Automotive News Europe. It's reported that Christoph Herr, Ford's German boss, has been held a meeting with European dealerships about the future of the brand, where he revealed that Ford CEO Jim Farley is apparently focusing on developing new passenger cars. It's unclear if that means they will come to North America, but they're talking about newer, smaller models in the future, and follow-ons to things like the Focus and Fiesta. They even had that C-Max van. Remember that? That was
Oh,
pretty good.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I always thought that was a bad play to get rid of those cars. Even something like the Crown Victoria, or the Taurus, some modern version of that. There are modern versions of the Taurus around in the world, or
Yep.
there were. I don't know if they're still made, but they were relatively recently. The other thing this article mentions is the Puma crossover. It's a tiny crossover. That would be a great vehicle to bring in,
It would be.
a U.S. version of that.
Uh, I wonder, maybe what are the dealers? What have the dealers been telling Ford? Are people coming in saying, I want a car?
And they have to
Where
say, how about a
other than a Mustang?
how about an F-250? How about an F-350 dually
Sure.
instead?
But I mean, wouldn't you think though that with how many Ford dealers are there? 2 or 3 thousand. That enough people in the last couple of years have been coming in saying, "Do you have a car? You have a sedan? Do you have a sporty hatchback?"
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know. And sometimes those conversations are kept out of daylight, but I think they would, because sometimes someone comes in and buys a big SUV and they say, "Oh, I need a commuting car too."
yeah,
What do you
or I
got that's
need a
small?
small car for my kid going to college.
Right. Or yeah, I have a car I want to commute in, and Fiesta or Escort or something
Right.
like that. Um, Even they're talking about even getting rid of the Escape right now, which is the
Uh,
closest thing they have to a small car, which is
and
really,
that's really popular.
yeah. So um, I think it's really needed. I really do. And as you know, we have talked about this, like brands like Kia and Hyundai and Toyota. They're full line manufacturers. They have everything from a small car right up to a giant pickup truck. And I don't
And
know how
yeah,
Ford plays in this world without having those.
and Ford has to be aware that Kia is selling, 50,000 models of the K5, and Honda, 50,000 models of the Sonata.
Yeah.
And, well, hey, maybe we should get into this game here. There's some money to be made.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And it's probably, as that article alludes to, it's probably even more prevalent in Europe. And I think it's just so many big pickup trucks and big SUVs that you can sell.
Yeah.
It really is, something that they have to do something about. So I'd like Fiesta and Focus to come back. What would you like?
Uh, I really enjoyed the Fiesta and Focus. I have to admit that the Crown Victoria,
Well, that was long in the
talk
tooth.
about a bulletproof
Yeah.
uh, car. Just its basic structure was around for 30 years,
Yeah.
and all of the bugs were worked out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just comfortable, long wheelbase,
Yeah.
go forever.
Yeah. Well, you think about it. You think about Chrysler talking about bringing back the 300. So it
Yeah.
would have some competition there. Yeah. I agree. I hope they do it. And I hope they are. We're going to see these things. But Puma is one I've always thought they should bring here, a small crossover. And it's a big seller in the European world. So we'll have to see if they do this, but let's hope. Let's hope they do. Hey, you and I like to see people replanting trees. We're fans of trees, and Hyundai has an interesting story this week. They have an Ionic 9. They call it the Ionic Forest. It basically is set up to launch a drone that has these seed pellets in it in a sort of a clay pellet that drops. They drop down into areas where they have been devastated by fires, right? Forest fires, wildfires, and it is a easy way with the help of the drone and a hopper of these pellets that include fertilizer and other nutrients and seeds to reforest the damaged area from a wildfire. Kind of an interesting concept, isn't it?
I think it's just terrific. That's what we should all be doing. We should all be going out and planting little baby trees.
Yes, they call it the Ionic 9 seed ball, which is an interesting name, but that's what it is. It's a seed ball. And these vehicles, these electric vehicles, were set up to basically launch the drone, and and then they can monitor it from in there, and figure out where to drop these seed balls. Sounds like something fun. It's like, let's fly over
You
there and
know,
drop some of
it
these.
it would be fun. It would be fun to take one of these out do some good with it, but also just fun uh, out there greening up the forest.
Yes, yes, yeah. Good deal from Hyundai, and a good use of technology, I would say. Hey, you and I have talked about the folks over at Stellantis doing some damage control, and they're bringing out as much as they can. They are
Yeah.
moving at lightning speed to bring out models people want. And one of the ways to do this is to bring out special editions. And we've got two this week. The Wagoneer Limited, which is a less expensive model that includes some great items in it. And the Wagoneer Limited, it's a value conscious customer. It's targeting a value conscious customer. Body color fender flares, chrome exterior badging, black lower front and rear fascias, and unique 22-inch wheels. And with a power side step, power folding standard, power folding second and third rows, tri-pane sunroof, and surround view camera. You are somewhat value conscious, but you're gonna pay
Uh,
$76,535.
that's okay. I wouldn't call that a value.
No, and then they have another model called the Wagoneer Super, which is that is an old name from the Jeep lineup. Believe it or not, uh, it is it features things that the Grand Wagoneer were previously unavailable for the Wagoneer plate. Exclusive 22-inch machined black aluminum wheels, two-tone black painted roof, body color fender flares, black finished power side step, carbide headlights, full trim blackout package, and on the inside, a Macintosh 19-inch premium audio system, tri-pane panoramic roof, and premium soft touch wrapped finish. That is a $3,000 value, they say, compared to other models of the Wagoneer, and the MSRP is $82,535. So
Okay, now all of a sudden the Super seems like a value.
well, if you were
It's-
paying over $100,000 for a Wagoneer,
yep.
73,000 or
The
82,000.
last one I tested was 113,000.
Jeez, that's a lot of chips.
That's a lot of money.
So basically, what they're doing there is trying to keep these things below 90 grand with these
Yeah.
special editions, right?
Wow.
That-
Well, I mean, there are plenty of people around here in DC who make bags of money and, can easily buy things like this, and they do.
yeah, and many people are buying it on a lease deal and paying dearly for it on monthly payments. But hey, if that's a vehicle you need, that's something that I guess you should consider. Hey, let's take a look at some technology from the folks at Mercedes. They have released their clean sheet Mercedes CLA. They call it, and this we always like to read the PR speak, gorgeous, effortless, intuitive, and flexible. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Hyper personalized digital experience with the 4th generation MBUX. That's the system that is the whole dash is a screen, basically.
Okay.
I guess
So far, two things about it I don't care for.
Okay.
One is the shape of the grill.
Yeah, it looks sad, sort of.
It's not a smooth design. I can't really describe how it hits me, but it's like it was starting out like an AC Cobra, but then it ended up with drawing a line underneath that doesn't, that just sort of puts the lines together. I don't care for that. The other thing I don't care for is all of the brushed aluminum in the interior.
Okay.
That never ages well, ever.
I think it sort of looks like a big mouth bass in the front, actually, like with a mouth open. But I do like some of the exterior colors. Let's talk a little bit about more of the features. It is effortless on the road.
Okay, whatever that means for an interior, but
on the road they're talking about it's
on the road. Okay, I'll give it that. It's really handsome shape.
Okay, so it has a range of 490 miles. It is an all electric vehicle. By the way, that grille lights up, which is interesting on the all electric version.
That's a long way.
490 miles, 268 horsepower. That's in the CLA 250 plus. And then the 350 4MATIC has 349. I'm going to say something very weird now, but for electric cars, that's not a lot of horsepower, is it?
It's not actually. It's not at all. Although I'm sure the torque is.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
certainly up there.
Effortlessly, it moves effortlessly.
Yeah.
Yes. It's got an 800-volt system for charging, and it can be charged for a range of up to 325 kilometers. What is that in miles?
225?
Okay. Well, 325 kilometers.
Oh, 325. About 180.
Okay. In as little as 10 minutes, which is becoming the norm. But the thing is, if you can find an 800-volt charger.
Yeah.
That's the problem,
and,
right?
And That 800-volt charging station is going to charge you 45 cents a kilowatt hour.
Yeah. So you're going to be,
So that's really going to cost you more than gasoline would have.
yeah, yeah,
But that's
exactly.
just a detail.
That's just the detail. Um, and then there's also a modern hybrid available with a 48-volt technological system. And that has a new engine. If I can find the detail on this, yeah, the 4-cylinder engine from the Fame engine family with a Miller cycle combustion
Hmm.
process, and it has an all aluminum crankcase with nano slide technology and a cylinder head with partially integrated exhaust manifold. The engine is also equipped with a turbocharger with a segmented turbine and a switchable scroll connection. And other highlights include a compact charge air path and exhaust system mounted close to the engine in a one box design, all prepared for future emission standards.
Hmm.
Okay. So the engine uses a combustion process based on the Miller cycle for efficiency, and it allows use of high compression of 12 to 1. Remember, if you ran 12 to 1 on pump gas on the street, before, after they did away with like leaded fuel and things like that, it was a recipe for detonation in the past, wasn't it?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
I remember a guy next to me rebuilt a Corvette, and he said, "Hey, guess what? I wanted to get 10 to 1 to compression ratio pistons, and they sent me 12.5 to 1 by mistake.
Oh,
But they cost more, so I'm going to keep them." And I said,
um,
driving on the street, I don't know if that's a good idea. And
that thing,
it
whenever you shut
overheated.
it off, it dieseled for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was terrible. I was like, wow, I
It's
would
pretty
not have done
terrible.
that. I wouldn't have, not have done that. But yeah, just because they sent you the wrong ones, I wouldn't. It never ran well. It overheated constantly. So
No, yeah, it just wouldn't run right.
no, it wouldn't run right. Terrible, absolutely terrible on the street. Um, so interesting choice by the folks over at Mercedes to make this both a hybrid and an electric vehicle. Something I'm sure we'll see a lot more of in the future. Um, but I don't think we have pricing on this. I don't think it's going to be cheap. That's what I think.
Uh, I don't see it either,
Yeah,
but
they
just,
typically do a lot of information.
yeah.
Two exclusive paint colors developed for the CLA: liquid crystal green and sky blue metallic. Uh, they have special interior accents of Bahia brown leather available for both standard comfort seats and AMG line sports seats. Seems like there's a lot of options here and a lot of choices. I do like the blue though. I do like the sky metallic blue. I think that's a nice color. Um, what do you think? I mean, the big take will probably be the hybrid, I would say, at least in the U.S.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a handsome looking body. It's a tremendous amount of technology. I'm sure it's great to drive. Um, Again, we don't know the cost. It'll be a lot,
Yep.
or maybe not as much as we think.
I don't know. I don't know. But we'll have to see, and we'll keep you up to date. I'm sure we'll have pricing information very soon. I do like the Mercedes logo in the taillights, though. I think
That's very clever. The tail light, very custom.
very custom, very custom. All right. Hey, let's over to Chevrolet. Camaro has not been with us for some time. The last one rolled off the assembly line in December of 2023. It was a ZL1 1LE with a manual gearbox. And
Hmm.
there's a lot of talk. What would happen? What would it take for GM to bring back the Camaro? There were some thought they would bring it back as an electric vehicle. That went away because, as we talked about earlier, they're basically just moving away from electric vehicles.
Right.
So what would it take? Apparently, there was a big presentation to bring it back, and they got shot down. That was according to some reports. And Mark Royce, the GM president, said the Camaro would have to meet specific criteria if it made a comeback. This is according to an interview he did with the Detroit News. He says, I think that formula of beauty and a little bit of functionality and fun, all of that is important. If we were getting back into Camaro, that piece of it is really important. I think it would be a great formula, and we have the ability to do that. Okay, that basically says they could build another Camaro, but it doesn't say anything. But problem is, Royce mentioned Mustang's not selling well, and why would you build a competitor to Mustang if it wasn't selling well?
And that's what makes a lot of sense, because the Mustang is down. Sales are down like 14%,
Mm-hmm.
and they whoever they are say that the big reason is high pricing.
Yeah.
Which is 33 grand for the base Mustang is getting up there.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, the Camaro was not selling.
Right.
And it wasn't selling because it wasn't appealing to enough people. I don't believe the former current Camaro appealed to women, because women, they complain to us. I can't see out of this thing.
Yeah.
It just feels uncomfortable. It drove great.
Yeah. I mean, it was a rear drive V8 powered machine.
Yeah.
You think about it, the Camaro was always like the guy or gal that went to buy a Corvette and said, oh, I don't want to spend that much money, but I do like the V8 sound.
Right.
Now, with Corvettes starting at 71,000 and moving on up, a $50,000 Camaro would be hard to say it, but an entry level.
Yes, proper designed Camaro that appeals to women as much as men. Yes, I think it would sell.
What about if you said, you know what? We're not going to put a V8 in it. We're just going to put a Turbo 4 in it, which could output 400 horsepower, even 300 horsepower. Would that be a problem, or would that be viable?
I think you'd lose the performance side of the market.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Ford did it they have a nice performing 2.3 liter turbocharged Ford, but I always felt that was so tied in with the Coyote V8 that while it drove great, it always, when I drove it, it was like somebody put the wrong sound in post production. It should sound like a V8, but it sounds like a Performance 4. I think GM does need, and I don't know where GM's at, really, frankly, right now. I mean, they've just making the move back to gas-powered cars, but they do need an affordable performance vehicle. Some people said they should bring back the Chevelle name and make that like a sporty hot hatch or something. I don't think the name has it means something to us, but I think people that are going for it doesn't mean anything anymore.
I don't think that name, again, that was a very masculine car.
Yeah.
It never appealed much to women.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to be able, on day one, when the Mustang came out 60 years ago, men and women bought them at the same rate. The secretaries
Right.
car and the businessman's car and the performance guy and the the convertible for the girl going to the beach. It was just that's what you want. That's the kind of vehicle that you want to appeal to everyone.
Yeah. Those are rare, though. Those are
Very
hard
rare.
to
I don't
come by.
think Camaro ever did.
No, no. I think its best years probably were from the launch up until, 70, 71, something like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, it kind of got bloated. Some of the, I see some of the later 70s F bodies that are not bad. They're kind of a fun platform to put an LS in or something like that. But,
Hmm.
um, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about it. If it is worth doing. I'm just not sure where GM is right now. I think they thought their future was $80,000, $90,000 big electric trucks, and
Yeah. But why would you think that? Where do you think all this money's going to come from across the country?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. And
That's what escapes me. The car companies used to be really good at figuring out what was going to sell.
I think it was just the push was on for electric vehicles. They couldn't build them cheap enough. And then so you
No.
end up with gigantic batteries that cost a lot of money to haul around a gigantic truck. Um, I don't know. I think it was just a major miscalculation. I really do. And to not have cars in your lineup, uh, it's just really
Big
weird to
mistake.
me.
Big
It's really
mistake.
weird to me. And you think about the cars that sell for GM are made mostly in South Korea or China. The things like the Trax and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Trailblazer
The
and
Buick Envision and
yeah,
um, you know, it, I think we could, if we wanted to write a book about the latest failure in the industry, I think we could maybe say the current electric vehicles are the industry's next or the industry's latest Edsel,
interesting, interesting.
which was a perfectly good car at
Yeah,
Ford, perfectly good, but there was no market for it.
yeah. They're
Just that they completely guessed the market wrong.
hmm
Lost $60 million in 1959,
yes.
and then got talked into the Mustang. That's pretty good on Iacocca's
It's
part.
a good
After that
comeback.
loss, yeah,
Yeah. Well, let's go over to Subaru, and they revealed and this is a weird name, Uncharted, this week in New York. 300 miles of range. This is another electric vehicle for their lineup. And this is a very thinly badge engineered CHR from Toyota. Very interesting that they bring this out. Now, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. I mean, I think people will realize that this is a Toyota, but they've done it already with the Solterra.
right. And the BRZ.
Yeah, BRZ as for, but I'm talking electric here. I don't know. Fast charging, 10% to 80% in 30 minutes, 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds, range of 300 miles. Does there need to be a Subaru version of this, or would the Toyota version, the CHR, be enough? I don't know. I don't really like the name either. Uncharted.
I don't quite get the name.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Somebody
draw
did an
me in.
article and said, yes, that's the name.
Yeah. You mean it's the name is Uncharted and they still have to come up with a name. No, that is the name.
And
Yeah.
Even CHR is not a good name for the Toyota
No, it's
version.
not. It's
Uh,
not.
at least you can remember it, like not like some of the other electric cars they brought out. Um, I don't know. I really, the jury's out on this, basically. I don't know if it's a great idea for them to have it or not. Um,
Well, I think it's a good idea to have it, and I think it's a very attractive SUV.
yeah,
Um, I don't think the name the name is any good,
no,
and I'm sure because it's basically a Toyota product, like uh, their other vehicles that they've shared. It's good. It's well built.
oh yeah, that's not the
And
problem. I'm just
yeah,
wondering, business-wise, if it was a great thing. Of course,
well,
this Solterra has been updated this year, which is the other electric vehicle. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. The bigger thing is that the Crosstrek got a heated steering wheel, so
yeah, exactly.
all's right with
This
the
is
world.
Fred and I feel fine.
That's right. I think
We
so.
no longer feel wanting something.
Yes, it gives me a warmth in my hands for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
this
Well,
is this is how bad we've devolved that we have to have heated steering wheels. You and
well,
I.
well, let's face it. What's the biggest concern of people buying cars? Cup holders and USB ports.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're not too far off from everyone
We're
else.
no, no.
Let's talk a little tech. This is about Ford coming up with a new way. They patented a new way to do QC. And of course, Ford has had tremendous recalls lately. It's
Right.
endless. So they're coming up with a better way of doing QC using AI technology. And what they want to do is use automated vehicle control during final assembly and dispatch. That's what the patent is titled. So Ford's
Okay.
computers would analyze all the data, and when they take it out on test drive, it would listen for exact sound frequencies, rattles, and things like that, and apply it against known values and other vehicles that have completed these tests. If it detects squeaks, rattles, or any other problems or noise or vibration, it would be brought back in for someone to look at. And they say this could be a great way to automate QC because most vehicles are taken out on a short test drive, right?
This is actually. I'm surprised they don't do this already.
Mm-hmm.
It seems very logical. It seems less expensive than subjective testing by test drivers.
Yeah.
Guys like us, we're not computers. We're subjective.
No, you may not hear a rattle in the back of the vehicle.
Right.
Just didn't notice it, you know?
Yeah, and I'm just rather surprised they're not doing it. Haven't been doing it. I guess they had to work out the autonomy, although you can work that out on a test track.
Yeah, I mean, for example, in Mercedes plants, the vehicles drive themselves from one station to the other as
Yeah,
they're being built, or at the end of the process, for testing. That's, I think, part of this idea that the whole test drive would be automated. And while it's driving around the track, these sensors would be checking sensors and saying, hey, the
that's
last
right.
five of these vehicles that I brought out, the last five of them sounded like this, but this one, somebody left a beer can in the panel. Did you
And
ever?
that has happened.
Let me ask you this: you restored so many cars. Did you ever take a car apart and find something weird
I
behind
did.
it? What did you
I
find?
did. A Sunbeam Tiger. I bought it in 1980. As I was taking it apart, stuffed into the right rear void between the gas tank and the outer fender. There were
Mhm.
tanks on both sides.
Right.
Was a bottle of Guinness Stout with a note attached.
No, you're just
Yes.
telling a story here now.
No, no, no. It wasn't to me. It wasn't to the future owner of the car. It was. I did find out when I talked to a guy that had worked for Roots of England, and that it said the note said, uh, "Happy birthday, Augie, from your mates."
Okay.
And it was a guy on the assembly line named Augie, and his mates stuffed the bottle in there, and he was, I guess, supposed to find it, but he but he didn't.
He's like, "Do you remember that red sunbeam tiger that you put together the other day?" "Yeah, I put together 5 of them." "Did you find anything in there?" "No." "Which one
Yeah, I
was
mean,
that?" "Was it full?"
so
It was full of beer."
yeah, it was full of beer. Well, I certainly wouldn't have drunk it.
No, I would keep it
Uh,
though as an interesting.
well, I did keep it, and I gave it to the guy that bought the car,
Yeah,
and he really liked it. He liked the idea.
yeah, it's a good
Um,
conversation piece.
But, clearly Augie was some guy on the assembly line.
It
Everything was hand built back then.
it's
It's
good. It's good until you take it to a Cars and Coffee and sit it in the car and as a a
yeah,
little note, and somebody takes it or drinks it.
that's right.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good story, but that's what they're thinking of. So we'll have to see if that that
Well,
use of AI comes.
I really do like the idea of an AI measuring, lots of instrumentation because it picks up a lot of stuff that would otherwise cause a warranty claim, and then you have to go visit the dealer because this is a problem.
Well, maybe, I mean, maybe this can be used at dealers where someone comes in and says, "Hey,
Yeah.
I've got this weird rattle, or I've got this, weird sound in my brakes or whatever." And they have a system of microphones installed in the vehicle, and you just plug a box into that, and it says, "Oh yeah, we detected a certain frequency at 35 miles an hour, and it looks like it's something wrong with your ABS sensor." So that I think I could see that in the future for
Hmm.
sure, for sure. We're getting to like Star Trek where they would scan you with the scanner medically. I always thought
That's
that was
right.
good. Whoa, you're not feeling well? Whoop, and they just they say,
I
"Oh."
love that idea. I don't think we'll live to see it, but I
No,
love the
but
idea.
I love the idea. Hey, one thing we should talk about from Audi, another reveal, the A6 Sportback e-tron, new vehicle that just came out, adding to their e-tron lineup. You wonder, have these vehicles, were they planned already? Now that a lot of people are moving away from electric vehicles, I guess they were already in the works.
I think
And
so.
yeah, this is the Audi Q6 Sportback e-tron. It says from the PR people, it adds a dynamic silhouette to the latest premium midsize Audi EV. And it's a good looking vehicle, actually. Kind of a hatchback type look, sportback. Um, it's an e-tron Quattro, standard all-wheel drive, and the latest EV engineering. Um, can tow up to 4,400 pounds, which is quite stout, really, when you think
That's
about it.
really stout.
Yeah. Um, and they say the entire roof arch of the Q6 Sportback e-tron was reimagined by the design team, starting from the A pillar and flowing gracefully
Hmm. Boy.
rearward. I love the interior. I love it's subtle, but
Well,
it's
typical Audi, just elegant, not not fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, very high-end materials.
Mm-hmm.
Comfortable, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet.
Mm-hmm. It has the latest PPE EV architecture, 800-volt electrical system for impressive charging performance,
Hmm.
and it can go from 10 to 80% of charge in 21 minutes if you use one of these 800.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So again, yes, you can, but you have to find a place that you could do it.
Yeah. And as electric vehicles become less popular, what will happen to the charging infrastructure? I'm not sure.
Boy, do you know what it would cost you to put an 800-volt system in your house?
Well, that's a good question. Can you even get that kind of service in your house?
Well, you can. You have to get a permit, but obviously, warehouses have it. And what it is for 220 systems.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you're looking at, oh, 60, 70, $80,000.
So if you wanted to put something like that into your house, even 440, you
It
can
would
do it.
be, well, it would be twin, they do it as twin 440s.
Wow.
Yeah.
But even so, let's say you had a house and it's on, there's electric wires there, but it's a residential area. Maybe you have some space around it.
They're going
Do
to
they
bury
even
it
have that
first.
power available to you on the pole?
Probably. If there's a transformer close to your house, that single wire down the street is typically anywhere from 20,000 volts to 100,000 volts.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's going into the transformer, they can peel an awful lot of volts and amps out of it.
Wow.
But I mean, you've got to pay a fortune to have that put in,
Yeah. Yeah. And I
just
would
to charge your
imagine.
car. I just think, no.
No. Yes, I would agree with you. I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Hey, we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Cruise Control. Don't forget to check us out on all our social media platforms. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. We appreciate it and really helps us out. It's time for me to say I'm Fred Staab.
I'm Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road.